This video is about she was born a vampire, yet his wolf chose her as his mate. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The moon hung high over the dense woods, illuminating the world in a silvery glow. Its light filtered through the branches, casting shadows that danced around the clearing. In the heart of this enchanted forest, the air throbbed with an electric tension, the kind that only existed between predators and prey. Sierra had always found comfort in the darkness, but tonight it felt different. She was a vampire, far removed from the primal instincts of the wolves that roamed these woods. Yet, as she stood at the edge of the pack's territory, her heart raced like the whirring of a trapped bird. "What are you doing here, bloodsucker?" A voice cut through the silence. It was Aiden, the pack's alpha, his gaze piercing through her like a spear. Sierra turned, forcing her heart to steady. "I didn't come here to cause trouble, Aiden. I am only what? To taunt us with the scent of your kind." His voice dripped with disdain, but there was something else beneath it, curiosity, perhaps. She exhaled sharply, frustration bubbling beneath her skin. "I am here for answers, my past. It haunts me. I need to understand." Aiden stepped closer, his tall, muscular frame casting a shadow over her. A fierce energy surrounded him, a whirlwind of dominance that made her pulse quicken in a way she couldn't explain. "Your kind has no business here. You are not welcome." To many, the line between vampire and wolf was clear enemies. But for Sierra, the rules felt increasingly suffocating. "I can't help who I am, Aiden. I was born this way." Aiden's expression softened for just a moment, revealing a flicker of something tender beneath his rugged exterior. "Not everyone is as forgiving. This land is sacred to my pack. Vampires have blood on their hands." "Then let me prove to you that I am different." She took a step forward, heart pounding with desperation. "I want to help it." "Help it?" Aiden laughed bitterly, shaking his head. "What could you possibly offer?" But before she could respond, Aiden's wolf surged to the surface, a primal instinct taking over. The air rippled with tension as his intoxicating scent enveloped her. Desire licked at the edges of her consciousness, unsettling and thrilling. "Your wolf is drawn to me," she whispered, voice trembling. "Even if it shouldn't he be." Aiden's golden eyes widened, shock mingling with something deeper. "No, that's impossible." "Destiny is a strange thing, isn't it?" she murmured. Don't he began, but she could see the conflict within him, the battle between duty and attraction. Before he could finish, a howl echoed through the woods, a high-pitched cry that sent shivers down her spine. Aiden's eyes narrowed, his wolf instinctively responding to the call of his pack. "I have to go," he said, though he didn't move. "Stay out of my territory, Sierra. You are dangerous." "Dangerous or just misunderstood?" she countered, desperate. "We could change that." Aiden hesitated, a storm raging behind his gaze. "You have no idea what you be asking for." "Then let me show you," she pleaded. "Let me show you who I am, beyond the bloodline." His breath hitched, and she could see the walls he built around his heart trembling. "You don't know the sacrifices my pack has made. Trust is hard won. You'll only bring pain." "Pain can lead to understanding," she whispered, reaching out. The moment her fingers brushed against his, an electric current surged through her, igniting every unspoken desire. "What if I am your mate?" Aiden recoiled as if she had struck him. "Don't say that. We can it's forbidden." "Yet here we are," she replied softly. The forest fell silent as Aiden wrestled with his inner turmoil, caught between the instincts of his wolf and the lingering whispers of his heart. "You are not just any vampire," he said, voice low. "You are different. Maybe that is why you should give me a chance." He turned his back on her, a finality in his movement. "Leave, Sierra. I can lose control." As he walked away, desperation clawed at her chest. They didn't wait, but he was already lost in the trees, the shadows swallowing him whole. Days turned into weeks, but Sierra could not shake the connection. She roamed the forest edges, drawn inexplicably to the pack's territory, the place Aiden had told her to avoid. The scent of him lingered in the air, intoxicating and maddening. One night, under the silvery glow of the moon, she found herself at the clearing again, heart pounding with anticipation. Her mind raced with possibilities and pain, weaving a tapestry of longing that threatened to consume her. "Aiden," she called into the night, her voice echoing through the trees. "Why do you keep coming here?" he answered, stepping into the clearing with an air of irritation and something else, something softer. "I can't help it. I am drawn to you." "Drawn? That is not something you should toy with. Is this a game to you?" Her voice trembled, frustration bubbling over. "I am tired of hiding. I am tired of feeling this way about you. Then stop, it is not safe. But how can I? You read the only thing that feels real in this chaotic existence. Eden stepped closer, his eyes darkening with an intensity that made her heart race. He understand the danger, Sierra. My pack want to accept you. Then let me prove myself. I can show them I am loyal. Loyalty to whom? To me? To your kind? You can choose both? Why not? She challenged. Isn't love worth the risk? He looked torn, a whirlwind of emotions battling behind those golden eyes. Love, this isn't just a feeling, it is a bond that could lead to destruction. Or salvation, she whispered, reaching for him again. But he pulled away, his eyes blazing with frustration. What if they find out? What if you are not as different as you think? Sierra swallowed hard, feeling the weight of rejection. Yuri scared. Scared? No, I am protecting you. My pack won't hesitate to defend what is theirs. And what if I am meant to be yours? Eden raked a hand through his hair, the tension palpable. We can explore this. I want to lead you to ruin. Then let me decide what my ruin is, she replied, desperation edging her voice. Shut the door before I even step inside. Eden's expression softened for a flicker of a moment, but he quickly hardened. You don't understand what you were asking. I can be the one to break our worlds apart. With that, he turned and walked away, leaving her heart heavy with unfulfilled longing. As she watched him disappear into the shadows, she felt a tear slip down her cheek, one that spoke of betrayal, heartbreak, and a love that felt destined to be. But Sierra was determined. She would not let this bond fade into the darkness. She would fight for their love, even if it meant challenging the very essence of fate. The moonlight bathed her in a silvery glow, illuminating a fierce determination in her eyes. Their worlds may be divided, but destiny had whispered her name, and she would answer. Sierra stood in the clearing, the memory of Eden's warm gaze still lingering in her heart. But the weight of their differences pressed upon her. The moonlight shimmered like diamonds across the forest floor, guiding her thoughts. I will find a way, she whispered into the night, her voice breaking the stillness. As she turned away, determination surged through her. But with every step, she could feel the echo of his rejection. The chill of the night air wrapped around her like a shroud, but she pressed on, unwilling to surrender to her fate. Over the next few days, Sierra devised a plan. It began with the whispers of the forest, secrets she could tap into if she only listened closely enough. Trees had long memories, and their roots intertwined with the very essence of magic that pulsed beneath the earth. One evening, under a sky scattered with stars, she sought the ancient oak at the heart of the woods. Its gnarled branches reached for the heavens, a sentinel of time and wisdom. Great oak, she murmured, placing her hand against the rough bark, I need your guidance. Show me the way to prove my loyalty to Eden's pack. The earth trembled slightly beneath her, as if it understood her plea. The leaves rustled in response, a soft symphony of reassurance. You seek acceptance, but acceptance comes with trials. The wind seemed to whisper through the branches. Trials I will face, she vowed. Her resolve hardened like steel. If Eden would not accept her on his terms, she would forge her own path. The following night, Sierra returned to the clearing with her heart racing. This time, she wasn't alone. A few of her fellow vampires had come, friends who, despite their differences, believed in her cause. Each had their own reasons, but the common thread was loyalty. As they gathered, the tension in the air was palpable. One of her companions, a fiery spirit named Lyra, leaned closer. You really think this will work? The wolves are territorial and aggressive. They want to take kindly to us. I know the risk, Sierra replied, her gaze unwavering. But I can back down, not now. They stood together, a formidable force of unity against the looming threat of rejection. The moon hung low, casting long shadows across the grove as they began to chant a binding spell, one that would enhance their strength and diminish their vampiric instincts. As the words flowed, Sierra felt the magic weave around her, their combined essence merging like streams into a river. But just as they completed the incantation, a figure emerged from the darkness, Eden, standing tall and ferocious, with his golden eyes shimmering with anger and confusion. What are you doing here? He growled, the sound rippling through the night like thunder. Sierra stepped forward. Eden, listen. We want to prove ourselves to you and your pack. We mean no harm. His eyes flickered with skepticism. You think you can just waltz in here and demand acceptance? You be putting your lives at risk. Lyra, emboldened by the magic coursing through her, interjected. We are here because of Sierra. She is different, and we believe in her. The tension escalated, crackling like a wildfire. Eden's body coiled, ready for a fight. You don't know what you were asking. My pack would never accept creatures like you. But what if we show you? Sierra implored, stepping even closer. What if we show your pack that we're willing to work together? He shook his head, frustration etched in every line of his handsome face. He don't understand the danger vampires and wolves they don't makes, not after what happened last time. A murmur of anger rose from her friends, but Sierra raised her hand, silencing them. Aiden, please, the past is the past. Can't we create a new future? His gaze softened for a moment as she saw the flicker of hope buried beneath his walls. You are asking too much. I am asking for a chance, she said, her voice breaking. We could do this together. You don't have to be alone in this struggle. Aiden's breath hitched, and for a moment she thought he would relent. But then the sound of rustling leaves pierced the air. From the shadows emerged members of Aiden's pack, drawn by the commotion. Their eyes glinted with suspicion, and Sierra's heart sank. Alpha, one of them said, eyes narrowed. What is going on? We were trying to reason with them, Aiden responded, an edge to his voice. But they don't belong here. They'll only bring destruction, another growled, stepping forward, muscles taut. Please, we just want to prove our loyalty, Sierra spoke, her voice firm despite the fear swirling within her. We can work together for the greater good. The wolves glanced at each other, uncertainty flickering in their eyes. Aiden stepped between them and Sierra, a protective stance that left her feeling both cherished and rejected. You are playing with fire, he warned, his voice low and intense. This isn't a game. Neither is love, she replied, desperation creeping into her tone. At that, Edna's expression hardened. This isn't about love, it is about survival. My duty is to protect my pack, not risk it for a bond that could destroy us. But it could also save us, she countered, fighting back the tears that threatened to spill. You have to believe that. The pack members whispered among themselves, their disbelief palpable. Aiden stood firm, torn between his instincts and the flicker of affection he couldn't shake. You're not ready for the consequences, Sierra. Then let me face them. Let me fight for this, for you, she declared, her heart pounding with the weight of her words. Aiden's eyes were stormy, wrestling with unspoken truths. This isn't just about us, Sierra. This involves our families, our history. It is too dangerous. Dangerous, she echoed, her voice trembling. Living in fear is far more dangerous than facing the unknown. I would rather take a chance than live a half-life missing what could be. He flinched as if she had struck him. The tension in the air crackled, heavy with unfulfilled longing. Enough! Aiden's voice boomed, silencing the murmurs of his pack. We will hold a trial. Sierra's heart soared, but Aiden continued, a trial to test your intentions. If you fail, there will be consequences for you and your friends. Sierra nodded, resolute. I accept. We will do whatever it takes to prove our loyalty. The pack members glanced at Aiden, uncertainty in their expressions. But his eyes remained locked on her, a mixture of admiration and fear swelling within them. Then prepare yourselves, we'll begin at dawn. As he turned, Sierra felt a flicker of hope. She had a chance, albeit a narrow one, to show Aiden and his pack that love could bridge the chasm between their worlds. But as the moon hung high above, casting shadows across the clearing, she knew the path ahead would be fraught with challenges. She would have to confront not only her own demons, but also the deeply rooted prejudices of those around her. And the stakes had never been higher. In the flickering twilight, she gathered her friends, the weight of their shared destiny drawing them closer. We will face this together, she said, her voice steady. No matter what happens, we'll prove ourselves, for Aiden, for each other. A chorus of agreement rippled through her companions, and the bond they shared felt unbreakable. The night stretched on, filled with a sense of purpose and impending change. And as Sierra looked up at the stars, she felt the pulse of destiny thrum beneath her skin, guiding her toward a future unknown but full of promise. Love was a force of nature, a storm that couldn't be contained, and she would harness it come what may. The dawn crept over the horizon, casting a gentle light through the trees, illuminating the clearing where the trial would unfold. Sierra stood with her friends, their expressions a mix of determination and anxiety. She felt the weight of their expectations, every heartbeat echoed with the stakes they faced. Are you ready? Lara asked, her voice shaking slightly. Fiery spirit who had once exuded confidence now appeared vulnerable. Sierra reached for her hand, squeezing it tightly. As ready as I'll ever be, Sierra replied, trying to inject strength into her voice. Whatever happens today, we'll face it together. The rustling of leaves signaled the approach of Aiden and his pack. Sierra's heart raced at the sight of him, rugged and fierce, but behind that facade, she glimpsed the tenderness that had flickered in his eyes before. Welcome, Aiden's voice cut through the air, sharp and commanding. This is your chance. Prove to us your intentions. Sierra stood tall, her confidence bolstered by the bond she felt with her friends. I will not shy away from this challenge. We come in peace and strength, willing to show our loyalty. Aiden's gaze flickered with uncertainty, but he quickly masked it. You need to understand that fear is not just an emotion, it's a survival instinct. We are protecting our own. Then let us protect each other, Sierra countered, her voice steady. The past docility dictate our future. The wolves exchanged glances, their skepticism palpable. Aiden stepped aside, gesturing for an elderly wolf with a grizzled muzzle to oversee the trial. This is Elder Joran. He will determine your fate. Elder Joran's eyes were like glacial ice, piercing and discerning. You will be tested in 3 trials: strength, loyalty, and compassion. Each will reveal your true nature. With a nod, Sierra turned to her friends. We can do this. They huddled together, their fingers tightly intertwined, a silent pact forged in the face of impending challenge. The first trial unfolded in a nearby clearing, marked by the scent of pine and damp earth. Elder Joran raised his voice. The first challenge is strength. You will face one member of our pack, win, and it will show your physical prowess. Aiden stepped forward, his presence commanding. I'll fight one of you, but know this, if you lose, the consequences will be dire. Sierra's heart sank, worry flooding her mind. Aiden, you read the alpha, this isn't fair. Fairness does not exist in battle, he replied curtly. This is about survival. Lyra stepped forward, determination etched on her features. I'll face him, I can handle it. Sierra's pulse raced as Lyra squared up against Aiden. No, Lyra, she called out, but her friend silenced her with a fierce look. The two squared off, a tense silence enveloping the clearing. Aiden lunged, and Lyra dodged, her agility showcased as she twisted gracefully. The fight escalated, each move a display of raw power and speed. With a swift maneuver, Lyra caught Aiden off guard, her fist connecting with his jaw. A murmur rippled through the onlookers, but Aiden quickly regained his footing, his wolf instincts surging forth. Sierra held her breath, her heart in her throat. Aiden threw a determined punch, but Lyra countered with a nimble evasion. The air crackled with tension, the stakes palpable. But as the fight progressed, it became clear Aiden was holding back. Frustration clawed at Sierra's chest. Finish this, she shouted, desperation lacing her voice. Show him your strength. At her urging, Lyra pushed herself harder, feigning vulnerability to lure Aiden into a misstep. And then, in a moment of sheer will, she tackled him to the ground, pinning him momentarily. Aiden? Sierra gasped, fear and exhilaration surging through her. But he quickly turned the tables, throwing Lyra off him with a growl. Enough, he barked, rising to his feet, breathing heavily. Elder Joran intervened. This isn't just a test of strength, Aiden. That is a lesson in humility. You must show them respect. Aiden's jaw tightened, and his eyes met Sierra's, a flicker of regret surfacing. You've proven your strength, Lyra. You can stand down. With a sigh of relief, Lyra retreated to Sierra's side, adrenaline still coursing through her veins. I did my best, she said, panting. The second trial unfolded in the depths of the woods, a place where shadows danced and whispers of old magic lingered. The second challenge is loyalty, Elder Joran announced. You must complete a task that tests your unity. Aiden stepped forward, his voice firm. You will each be given a task to complete. You must work together to succeed, or you will fail. Sierra nodded, her heart racing with determination. What is the task? Retrieve the crystal of unity from the shadow cave, Aiden explained. But beware, the cave is guarded by creatures of the night. You will have to rely on each other's strength. Sierra and her friends exchanged wary glances, the weight of the challenge setting in. We will do this, she declared, her voice resolute. They set off into the forest, the air thick with apprehension. As they approached the cave, shadows danced at the entrance, flickering like the embers of a dying fire. Stay close, Lyra whispered, clutching Sierra's arm. A low growl echoed from within the cave, and they entered cautiously. A creature emerged, its eyes glowing like molten silver, teeth bared in a snarl. What do we do? One of her friends whimpered. Sierra took a deep breath. We fight together. With newfound courage, they charged at the creature, a whirlwind of claws and fangs. They fought valiantly, but the creature was powerful, a fierce opponent that seemed to absorb their strikes. It slashed at Lyra, but in a moment of instinct, Sierra threw herself between them, absorbing the hit. Pain exploded in her side, but she pressed on, urging her friends to strike. Keep going, we can do this. With a final surge of combined strength, they overwhelmed the creature, sending it retreating into the shadows. As they entered the heart of the cave, a glimmer caught Sierra's eye, the crystal of unity, pulsating with ethereal light. She reached for it, her fingers brushing against its cool surface. The moment she touched it, a surge of energy enveloped them, binding their fates together. "We did it," she exclaimed, joy flooding her heart. Returning to the clearing, the light of the crystal still shimmering in her hand, they presented it to Elder Joran. "You have passed the test of loyalty," he declared, his voice booming through the clearing. But the final trial lies ahead. Sierra's heart raced as she faced the challenge, knowing the stakes had never been higher. The trial of compassion, she realized, would force them to confront the deepest fears buried inside each of them. Elder Joran continued, "You will face your greatest fears. Only through understanding can you truly prove your compassion." Sierra felt her throat tighten. "What does that mean?" "Each of you will confront an illusion of your worst nightmare," Aiden warned, his gaze serious. "You must face it together or watch it tear you apart." As the darkness encroached, Sierra grabbed hold of her friends. "No matter what we see, we reach stronger together." One by one, the illusions took form. Lara faced the vision of betrayal, seeing herself surrounded by enemies. The pain echoed in her eyes as she faltered, but Sierra's voice, steady and unwavering, broke through the chaos. "Lara, it is not real. Focus on us." Next was a vision of Sierra herself, betrayed by Aiden, alone in the woods, haunted by the shadow of lost love. The heartache clawed at her chest, threatening to consume her, but she forced herself to breathe, to remember the bond that connected them. "Aiden," she cried, reaching out. "You have to believe in us, and our love." His illusion flickered, revealing a future where his pack turned against him, driven by fear. "Sierra, I can lose them," he shouted, hopelessness flooding his gaze. "You want she replied fiercely, stepping forward. "Let them see who we can be together." With a surge of determination, the group clasped hands, their bond grounding them in reality. Together, they faced the illusions, their fears melting away in the light of unity and love. As the final echoes faded, Elder Joran's voice rang through the clearing. "You have shown strength, loyalty, and compassion. You have proven your worth." Sierra's heart swelled with hope, but Aiden's gaze held apprehension. "What happens now?" "Now," Elder Joran said, "you must decide. Acceptance or rejection. The choice remains with her." Elder Joran's voice hung in the air, heavy with the weight of countless decisions made and lives altered. Sierra felt her heart quicken, the moments stretching into eternity as she faced Aiden and the pack. "What happens now?" she whispered, the words barely escaping her lips. Elder Joran stepped forward, eyes glinting like ice. "You have shown all that is needed to prove yourselves, but acceptance does not come easily. It requires trust, a bond forged through understanding and love. What if they don't accept us?" Lyra's voice trembled, fear etched on her face. "What if they turn on us now?" Sierra glanced at Aiden, whose golden eyes bored into her with a mixture of uncertainty and regret. "We've fought for this," she said firmly, stepping closer to him. "We've faced our fears. We've shown we can be more than just vampires and wolves. We can be allies." Aiden's expression faltered. "Allies for something more?" His voice was low, almost a whisper, but the question hung in the air like a thundercloud, heavy with unspoken truths. "More," Sierra breathed, feeling the pull of the connection deep within her chest. "But what's at stake here isn't it? Love, unity, and destiny. We can change the course of our histories together." Elder Joran's gaze shifted between them, sensing the emotional current swirling around. "Love is a powerful force, but it is not without its challenges. Aiden, will you stand by this choice?" Aiden's jaw tightened as he wrestled with conflicting emotions. "What if we fail? What if my pack rejects her? Rejects all of us? I can't bear to watch anyone be hurt." His voice broke slightly, revealing the turmoil beneath his fierce exterior. Sierra took a step closer, her heart pounding. "Then let us show them we're not just vampires, we're a part of this world too. I promise to protect your pack. Aiden, I am not here to bring harm." Aiden's gaze flickered with the light of his instincts wrestling with the void of his fears. "You don't understand the history. The blood that runs between our kinds is tainted. Not everyone will accept you, Sierra. They see you as a threat, not a partner." "But they need to see the truth," she implored, her voice rising in passion. "They need to see the power of love over old grievances. We have the chance to create a new story." Elder Joran raised a reflective brow. "You speak of change, child, but change is often met with opposition. Are you prepared to face that, not just with strength, but with compassion?" Sierra nodded fiercely, her heart pounding in her chest. "We will stand together, no matter what." "Together," Lyra echoed, her voice rising in confidence. We are more powerful united than apart. We've shown our loyalty, and as friends, we'll fight for one another. Aiden stepped back, torn between his duty and the undeniable pull he felt towards Sierra. Then let us see if they will listen. But know this, Sierra. His voice dropped to a low growl. If they turn on you, I want to be able to protect you. Then we'll make sure they see who I really am, she whispered softly, her heart aching with a blend of hope and despair. We'll all go together. As Elder Joran raised his hand, the tension in the clearing thickened. Then it is time. The pack will convene, and they will decide your fate. Stand firm in your resolve, for the path ahead will not be easy. Sierra's heart raced as she braced herself for what lay ahead. The pack members emerged from the shadows, their expressions a blend of curiosity and suspicion. Among them stood Aiden's closest friends, each one weighing the gravity of this moment. Why are they here? Well, one of the wolves snarled, his hackles raised. What do we owe them? They've shown strength, loyalty, and compassion, Aiden declared, stepping forward. They have fought for a union between our kinds, and it is time we consider the bond of fate. The pack murmured, skepticism clouding the air. Fate? Another wolf scoffed. We can trust them. They were still bloodsuckers. Sierra's heart sank at the harsh words, but she refused to back down. I was born a vampire, but I am here to prove that we can coexist. I faced darkness, and I refuse to let the past dictate our future. The pack fell silent, the weight of her words hanging in the air. Aiden turned to her, admiration mingling with worry. You are brave, Sierra, but bravery alone won't change their minds. Then let them see my heart, she said, her voice rising with determination. I'll show them that love can break any barrier. We re not enemies, we re allies. Elder Joran stepped forward, imposing and wise. The pack shall hold a council. If they choose to accept you, a new chapter can be written. If they do not, the consequences will be dire. Aiden's eyes met Sierra's, filled with both hope and fear. Stand strong, Sierra. Whatever happens, you've already changed me. The council convened, the pack gathering in a circle, tension thick as they debated her fate. Aiden stood beside her, a silent pillar of support amidst the uncertainty. One by one, pack members voiced their opinions. Some rallied behind Aiden's belief in unity, while others clung to prejudice and the scars of past betrayals. They'll betray us, just like the last time, the silver-furred wolf shouted, his voice echoing through the clearing. We can't allow this. They've proven their loyalty, Aiden defended, his voice rising above the chaos. We must not let fear guide us. Fear drove our ancestors to conflict, not unity. Sierra's heart ached at Aiden's words, his unwavering support igniting a fire within her. I am here to forge a new bond, she interjected. To protect and be embraced, not as a bloodsucker, but as a sister to your pack. The pack fell momentarily silent, unsure how to respond. And then, a voice rose from the shadows, a familiar one. Aiden, you are risking everything, said a female wolf, stepping forward. Her silver eyes glinted with apprehension. What if this leads to chaos? Our kind is built on tradition. Tradition? Aiden scoffed. Tradition has led us to isolation and fear. We can rewrite the narrative together. It is time to break free from the chains of the past. Sierra felt the weight of the moment, the tension palpable. She stepped closer to Aiden, her heart racing. What do you fear most? She asked softly, her gaze fixed on the wolves. The darkness that separates us, or the light that could unite us? What if the light burns too brightly? The wolf sneered, glancing around at the others. What if it blinds us? The council erupted into chaos, voices raised in passion and fear. But in that moment, Aiden stood firm, his gaze locked on Sierra. It is time, he said, his voice steady, commanding silence. It is time to let go of the past. A hush fell over the pack. Sierra held her breath, sensing a monumental decision hanging in the air. I will fight for this, she declared, her heart racing. I'll fight for my place among you. I'll fight for Aiden. With a deep breath, Aiden stepped forward, his voice echoing through the woods. Who will stand with us? Who will accept this bond of unity? One by one, wolves began to step forward, their expressions shifting. Among them, a powerful figure emerged, Elder Joran. I will stand with you, Aiden. For unity and love, we must forge our own path. A ripple of murmurs spread through the pack, uncertainty battling against the flicker of hope. Aiden turned to Sierra, his gaze fierce and unwavering. We are stronger together, he said softly. Finally, the wolves began to join their leader, some hesitant, but others emboldened by the prospect of change. Together they echoed, voices uniting. Elder Joran raised his voice, the weight of authority grounding the moment. It is decided. We shall give you a chance to prove your worth among us, but know this trust is earned, not given freely." Sierra felt a wave of relief wash over her, but the weight of the decision settled heavily on her shoulders. "Thank you," she whispered, glancing at Aiden, whose golden eyes shone with admiration. But even in this moment of triumph, shadows still lingered. "We'll still keep watch," one wolf warned, a hint of skepticism in his tone. "You must prove yourselves day by day. This bond is precarious." Sierra nodded firmly, feeling the weight of the challenge. "We will show you every day that love can break down any barrier," she pledged, her voice steady. As the sun set over the horizon, casting golden rays through the trees, Sierra looked around at the pack, at the wolves who had once been her enemies but now offered a new beginning. The path ahead would not be easy,